Okay.
Hi, my name is Maeve Cosgrave. I work with the Limerick and Clare Educational Training Board and I'm a cookery tutor. I'd like to introduce you to my class in St Mary's. First of all, I have Natalie, Margaret, Bernie and Katrina, and our coordinator Anne Madden. These girls have been helping me put together this cookery book, which I have here, and all the proceeds from this book are going to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. The book started out life as a collection of recipes which we intended to share with our friends, but after talking with some of our tutors who also expressed an interest in getting involved, it has become so much more. So now we have art groups, writing groups and other cookery groups also involved. I have always believed that community education is so much more than just a class. For me, it's always about the friendships that are formed, the bonding, and sometimes you're just a bit lonely and just want to go and have a cup of tea with someone and a bit of chat, and that's okay too. I'm hoping when you flick through the pages of this book that you'll get a sense of that and get a sense of the joy that these classes bring to each and every one of us. As I said earlier, all the proceeds are going to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. A great service they supply, and a lot of families need them, and hopefully we'll be able to help them out a little bit. I'd also like to thank Mary Flannery, because without her and allowing us to do this and giving us the space to create, it wouldn't actually be possible. So thank you very much to Mary Flannery, and thank you to the girls, because honestly they're just fantastic.
Hello, I'm Mayor Michael Collins, and I'm delighted to launch Flavours of Limerick, which is a lovely collection of beautiful memories and enticing recipes gathered from community education groups here in Limerick City. You can find out why the housewives of Tomagate were known as soda cakes, or learn how to make delicious rainbow cupcakes. I would like to congratulate each of the learners who contributed to the book, whether it was a recipe, a piece of creative writing, or some of your artwork. You should be very proud of the finished product. I would also like to commend each of the tutors who were involved in the production of this book. It's a credit to you and reflects your skill and creativity as tutors in community education. Flavours of Limerick was supported by Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board and Limerick Community Education Network, and I'm delighted to hear that all the proceeds from the sale of this book will go to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. Well done.
A creative writing tutor, just because Sheila's writers, her creative writers, also contributed to this book, just as I suppose did the other tutors who are here, Martina Chewett, Liz Slattery, Maeve, mentioned earlier on, and who am I forgetting? Paul Kwan, the art tutor, and Paul O'Flaherty, last but not least, Paul O'Flaherty, the Irish tutor. So the book kind of reflects, I suppose, is the support and, as the Mayor said, the creativity of a number of tutors working with the ETB in community settings. So I'm just going to read the piece that Sheila would have said had she been here. So in Sheila's voice, if you can imagine, I'm delighted that a flavour of the creative writing class learners take part in this wonderful book, Flavours of Limerick. Creative writing, like cooking, is a mix of many elements. The good story, well told, is a pleasure for the reader. Listen to and savour. For a writer to have their work published in a book is a huge honour and acknowledgement for themselves and their peers. I'm delighted to introduce Marion McNulty to read her piece today. Marion has been in my classes for many years, and she always brings a touch of humour and reminiscence to her writing, as she has done with this piece about the Cleves factory in Limerick. Marion.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mary, for your lovely introduction. When I wrote this piece, I was delighted, to be honest, because my Aunt Chrissy worked in Cleves for a number of years, so I'll go ahead with it. Cleves factory is situated in the most scenic part of Limerick City with the River Shannon close by and Sarsfield Bridge up the road. The view from the bridge gives you a bird's eye view of King John's Castle. In 1883, Thomas Cleeve opened the factory, Cleeve's. Within the 10 years, Cleeve's operated the largest milk processing factory in Ireland. The factory branched out into the manufacture of butter, chocolate, tinned condensed milk, cream boxes, and most importantly, the well-known sweets and the famous Cleeve's slabs of toffee. Business was thriving with the start of World War I, and in 1914, the condensed milk sales bloomed throughout the war. My aunt Chrissy worked in Cleeve's in the 1950s to 1960s. Aunt Chrissy cycled to work every morning for 8 o'clock. And in the distance, Aunt Chrissy could see the tall red brick chimney, which was still on the factory today in 2019. It is a marvellous landmark. Aunt Chrissy met her husband while working in Cleeve's. In the winter months, work was not so plentiful, so Aunt Chrissy and many of her workmates went to England for work. They would return in the springtime to their former work in Cleeve's factory. This was known as seasonal work. Nearly every family in the city and county worked in Cleeve's at some time of their lives. The workers in Cleeve's factory were like one big happy family, organising day trips to Ballybunion and Kilkee during the summer months, bringing family members with them. My sister Bridget and I had many a happy day in Ballybunion with Aunt Chrissy and her friends. Such wonderful memories, and not forgetting the slabs of Cleeve's toffee. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maeve Cosgrave. I work with the Limerick and Clare Education and Training Board. We have put together this little booklet of all our community education classes, and proceeds are going to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue, who I'm here with this evening, Dave and the boys, to show the book to.
Dave, thanks very much for putting this together. We could talk forever about getting these big donations, but I mean, like, when times are hard, it's the local people that come through. And again, thanks very much for this.
Thank you, and thank you for all your work, because without, there's a lot of families that need you and rely on you, and we really appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thanks very much, man.
I tell you, when you see what people take on and go do to give you a bit of heart, you can often be out there and all kinds of weather and all hours of the night and morning and say, what the name of Jesus am I doing this for? When you see something like that, you say, well, isn't it worthwhile after all?
Yeah.
Or if you're on the flag day and an elderly lady comes over and she gets her purse and she says, "Are the good guys?" And you get bits of earrings and nails and what, you get the whole lot. When we found 35 years ago, they thought we were a fly-by-night group because we were sports divers and things like that. But hence, we ain't going anywhere. One man came over to us one day and he looked just an ordinary man, and he put a £50 note, a €50 note into the bucket, and we called him. I don't know if it was you or someone was with me anyway, and we called him and said, "Look, they're after making a mistake there."
Yeah.
And he looked at us like that, very serious. "I made no mistake," he said.
On behalf of the Limerick Marine Search and Rescue, I'd like to thank the Limerick Community Education groups for putting together this beautiful book. It's got some really, really nice recipes in it. All the proceeds go to the Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. So for that, we say a huge thank you.
Say your name.
My name is Paul Kwan. I'm art tutor, craft and design with the LCETB, and what I do is I actually give a class which is known as the Monday Art Club in Our Lady of Lourdes. And Our Lady of Lourdes Art Club was formed initially to actually serve the purposes for, say, people who would have gone through the beginner's art class. Now that's an earlier morning art class. And then what to do is they actually come every other week as a group, And I think it's good in one way, because when they come together every other week, they actually get to meet and social interaction and have the chat and the banter, etc., as well as learning from myself and from each other, and complimenting each other, criticising each other, whatever it takes. But then the one thing about an artist is, of course, that you work a lot in isolation. And it's amazing, it can be quite conducive as well to this situation we're in at presently, whereby you can work on your own and yet at the same time look forward to actually getting back into the group situation. So, first of all, I'll introduce you to Sister Josephine Cagney. Sister Josephine has produced a lovely piece of work here and relates directly to the piece she has written in the booklet. So, I'll ask you, Sister, please, if you would actually deliver that for us.
So when Paul asked us to write a story or something about connection with Limerick, I thought of the little pigs in Pigtown, and then I thought of this story that concerned myself. The piglets, the bonnets, we call them then. When I was 8 years old, my uncle gifted my brother and me with 2 piglets. We fed them with milk from a baby bottle. It was a lot of work, but we enjoyed playing with them. Soon they grew big and strong and knocked over their tea chest, which was in the kitchen. I didn't say that. When we prepared a special house for them with straw on the floor and enclosed yard where they could run about. One day, Dad asked me, "Will you sell your pig?" "Oh no, Dad. He'll go to O'Mara's." Little did I know that O'Mara's was a big factory like Shaw's, Denny's and Malleson's, and that Limerick was called Pigtown, where many people reared pigs. I think you all should read that book, Pigtown. What the people went through. Oh, something else. Thank you, and thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much.
And all the group, I really enjoyed being with them.
And next we have Marion McNulty, and of course Marion delivered her lovely piece which she wrote directly in relation to the piece that she's painted here. And of course this is done in acrylic paint, and it expresses, I guess you can see at a glance, that slab of Cleves toffee. You know. So Marion, if there's anything that you would like to maybe add to that.
Thank you. Well, I must thank you, Paul, and thanks everyone in our group. I'll tell you, I love going to the art, and Paul is such a fantastic tutor, which goes without even saying, but I'll tell you, I really enjoyed this so much, and with Maeve also. Thank you, Maeve, for your support. Well, I'll tell you, I got a great kick out of doing it. The simple reason is, as I wrote in my story about my Aunt Chrissy, and my brother actually reminded me today, he can remember me eating too much of that Cleves toffee. And look, I have a few teeth left in my But it was a great place, and Paul gave me great ideas doing this acrylic painting. And as you can see there, the chimney is there. And so I looked up, and these were this particular one is one of the very early cans in Cleves at the time. And the colours, I just love the colours. So I must say I thoroughly enjoyed this project, and I'm very proud and happy to be part of this project, the Flavours of Limerick. So thank you.
And next, of course, we have Pat here, Pat Caneen. And Pat, you contributed to the book as well with your lovely pieces of paintings. And maybe there's something you might like to say about this one here, on a train journey, I believe.
Good evening, everyone. Pat Caneen is my name. I attend as an art student at our Lady of Lewis Community Centre under the guidance of our tutor, Mr. Paul Kwan. I have been a student there for a few years now. I like working as a, you could say, pretentious artist, but I noticed this particular piece in a newspaper cutting, So, and as we're on the theme of Limerick, I suppose I must maybe once again be pretentious and say it's Dublin to Limerick train. Maybe not, but as I said, it was in the middle of centre page of the Daily Mirror newspaper. And I took a liking to it, so I just worked with it, and under the guidance of Paul, you know, to get the correct structure, I managed to get that far. So I hope you like it, but you know, and thank you very much anyway for listening to me.
And of course, this is just a sample of the wonderful class that we do have. Unfortunately, others couldn't be with us, who also produced and contributed some lovely work. I'd just like to finish by thanking everyone who has been involved in the book, and Maeve, of course, for coming up with the light bulb idea here, which roped us all in. And of course, Martina, it was who suggested a number of things as well in relation to the book. And of course, Mary, thank you so much for facilitating us and being always such tremendous help. Thank you so much indeed.
Who needs no introduction, but just nearly at the end, but actually we're saving the good wine to the end. Martina Tuitt is going to tell us the story of why the women of Thomond Gate were known as the soda cakes. So I hand over to Martina.
So I'm Martina, and I'm working with the LCETB, and I teach cookery. I teach a few other things too, but we're here about cookery today. I started working maybe 30 odd years ago, and I'm not from Limerick myself city, I'm a Clare woman. So I was intrigued when I came in, and I got loads of recipes from, not only did I teach, you know, what I knew, but I learned an awful lot from a lot of the women that came to my classes. And it intrigued me about the soda bread, and a lot of the women had all different ones, you know, but this woman in particular made a beautiful soda cake, and so I got the recipe off her, and that's the recipe that I have in the book. Now that woman has passed and all, and she's gone, but I always use her recipe now. It's fabulous. So I got intrigued by the soda bread, and I kind of researched it. So what I learned about the soda bread was that years ago people didn't have the way to make the bread rise, because the Irish flour was there wasn't enough gluten in it, so yeast wouldn't rise the bread. So it was kind of in the 1840s when the US made the soda, the bread soda, or soda bread or baking, you know, bread soda, and they made it, and it came over here and it suited the flour that we had here. So that's when the soda bread was born, so around the 1840s. And I remember the women talking about walking through Thomond Gate, and when the women used to bake the bread, they used to leave them on the window in Thomond Gate to cool. So people walking through the place would see all this. So the housewives then earned the nickname the soda cakes, and I thought that was hilarious, you know. And they didn't mind; they loved being called that. So when we were discussing it, and Paul. And it's funny, when I had said it, I said to Paul, would it be lovely for a picture of, you know, soda cake on the windowsill with the thing. So Paul actually done the beautiful picture that's on the front of the book here. So he painted this. But Paul's recollection, he said that this was an image of a picture that he had in his head from when he used to walk through Thomond Gate, of the old, you know, sash window and all that. So that's the image that he had, and it's actually of a Thomond Gate window. So, and then the bit of folklore that came with the Irish bread was that the cross that was cut into it, now while we know it was to make the bread rise and cook evenly, but people used to tell their children little folklore stories about that. It was to keep the devil away, so nothing would happen to bread, or that it was to keep mischievous spirits from burning the bread or letting it burn while it was in the oven. So it's just a lovely kind of an Irish traditional thing. And then it was about 25 years ago that then restaurants and hotels adopted the Irish bread as like an Irish traditional bread to serve in their hotels with the soups, and anywhere you go now you'll get it with maybe smoked salmon or the brown bread with the soup, always served with the soup. So that's my little tip on the the brown bread. So, thank you.
So I'm Hilary, I'm the homeschool liaison in Thomond Primary School, and this is my wonderful, fabulous cooking group, most of them anyway, and we were delighted that we had Liz coming in as our tutor, and I think the girls every Thursday morning are jumping into the school faster than their children to get cooking, and it's just been a really enjoyable experience. And I suppose Liz was so wonderful that she catered to our needs and our wants, and half of us were on doing Slimming World at one stage, and we were doing Slimming World recipes and everything. So so it was fabulous when she came up and told us about the idea of doing the cookbook. We were delighted to take part in it. Yeah. And that's it.
Everyone for coming today. I know this isn't the launch we had intended, and we had this beautiful big affair planned, but a virtual launch is what we will deal with today, and I think we did a great job, and without each and every one of you it would never be possible. So thank you very much for coming, and thank you to Martina, Paul, Liz and Mary for allowing this and helping a great team effort without a shadow of a doubt. So thanks again, and all donations today, we have a little box there, so all donations for Limerick Marine Search and Rescue, and thanks again.
I hope you all enjoyed the digital launch of Flavours of Limerick. The book will be available in various community centres across the city. To purchase a copy of the book, we ask for a donation of €5 to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. I will now cover the steps to make a donation. So first, what we want to do is we want to get to the Limerick Marine Search and Rescue website. So what I've done here is I've Googled Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. And the second result, the first is their Facebook page, and the second is their website, which is www.lmfor.ie. And that again is www.lmfor.ie. And this is what the website will look like. Now, when we scroll down, we see a Make a Donation button. So that's here, just under the About, Make a Donation, and we click on that. And we're brought now to where we can make a donation. So this is for Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. And there's a button here saying Donate Now. So we press the Donate Now button. And it's already selected, a credit card and debit card. So this is the page that will come up. I'm making a single gift already selected. So we can pick 10, 25, 50, 100, 250. So I'm going to put in other amount, and I'm going to put in €5. And the total amount then is €5. My message is going to be Flavours of Limerick. And I've already spelled flavors wrong. So if you want to ensure the charity gets 100% of the selected donation, you can click the button, and it will add 25 cents on because the website takes 25 cents as commission. So that will ensure that the charity gets the full amount. So you can enter your details here, your first name, your surname, and email, and that's so you'll get a receipt of the payment. So what I will do is I'm going to make myself anonymous. I'm not going to put in an email, and I've read and agreed. So if you want to, you could put in an email there and get a donation, or get a receipt, sorry. So I'm going to hit the complete donation, and then I'm going to enter my card number, which of course I'm going to skip this part, so you're going to see what happens after this. Now, once you have entered your card details and hit the button for make a donation, this is what it will look like when you've finished. So it will just come up like this: details of donation, the donor name I've put down anonymous, my donation amount €5, and it's gone to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue. Now what you can do is you can go up here and you can click print confirmation, and that will just show you the page that you have. It's like a receipt to show that you've made the donation. Now what we ask for is if you just get your phone and you take a picture of this or screenshot this and just bring it to the community centre and just show them that you've donated €5 and then pick up your book. And I hope this helps with how to make a donation to Limerick Marine Search and Rescue and how to pick up a copy of Flavours of Limerick. Thank you all.